Hi guys, it's Grace again. Hope you guys are all doing well. So, you guys know right now that lots of people are looking at what's happening around them. People are getting sick, churches, schools, and businesses and stores are closing down for right now, and they're worried. Being worried is just natural, but if you're a friend of Jesus, there's something you can do with your worry because Jesus' power calms our worries. And that's the theme of what we're talking about today. So we're going to explore that in a minute. But first, let's talk about this past week's God sightings. Where have you guys seen God provide for you this past week? Where has He been working in your world? My example would be that recently a good friend and I have started reading through the book of the Bible, John, together. So every day we'll read a few verses and then at night we'll text each other maybe what stood out to us, what verses we liked, what questions we might have. And it's just been cool to be able to read through that with a friend and be able to share that with somebody, that experience. So that's been a God sighting for me, that she's been helping to also keep me accountable on my Bible reading. So I want you guys to pause this video for a second and talk with your parents and your family about some God sightings you've seen. All right, thank you for sharing. So, what do you guys do with worry? Well, the kids that you're about to see in the music video have a pretty good idea. So how about you get on your feet and you join the kids in this music video with singing, okay? So pause this video and click on the link in the comments to worship with us this morning. So, that was a good song to remind us that Jesus' power calms our worries, right? So, like we've already said, the world seems really worried right now. Worried about the coronavirus, worried about jobs, about so many things. What are you hearing that we should be worried about right now? I want you guys to write or draw the things that you're hearing people worry about. I want you to write down a few things, okay? But each thing you write down, put on a separate piece of paper because I want you to make a whole bunch. So, before you do that, I'll show you my examples. So, I wrote down jobs or money, school, and missing family or friends. So pause this video and write yours down. All right, so now I have something else for you guys to talk about. What do you usually do when you get worried? Mine would be when I get worried, I'll get upset. I sometimes cry too. I'll talk to Ian. I'll talk to my sister Leah. I'll talk to my parents about it. And I'll pray and talk to Jesus about it. And a lot of times I'll put on some good worship music and just worship Jesus through it. But again, like I said, a lot of times I cry too. So I want you guys to pause me and talk about what you do when you worry. And as you talk, I want you to take your pieces of paper and crumple them up, okay? Because we're going to need them in just a few minutes. So go ahead and pause this and crumple your papers. All right, so there was a guy in the Bible who trusted Jesus, but then started to worry and things didn't go so well for him. If you want to follow along in your Bibles, I want you to look up Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And I'll be reading it right here, okay? So you're going to have to do some of these motions with me. All right, so this part's called Jesus Walks on Water. So immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed the crowd, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone, but the boat was already pretty far into the water from land, and it was being rocked back and forth by the waves. So Jesus' friends were in a boat. Go ahead and start rocking some, okay? So the wind picked up and the waves got a lot bigger. So if you can rock this hard while I read, go for it. All right. And then the wind was howling also. So you're rocking and the wind's howling. Whoo, whoo. I'm going to go back down to rocking a little bit while I read. So during the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them, walking on the water. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. So Jesus' friends saw Jesus walking on water and walking towards them. Can you make a surprised face with me? All right. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It's I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter said, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," Jesus said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind and he felt the waves, he was afraid, and he began to sink. And he cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and he caught him. And he said, "You have little faith. Why did you doubt me?" And when they climbed back into the boat, the wind stopped. So you can stop rocking. Then those who were in the boat worshiped Jesus, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." All right. So I want you guys to right now pick one of you to pretend to be Peter. You have someone? Okay, Peter. Stand up and look across the room, okay? We're going to pretend that where you're looking is where Jesus is waiting for you. You're going to step out of the boat, so take a step up and over and stand on the water. Now, take a step towards Jesus. Keep your eyes on him over there. And now take another step. All right, everyone else, as Peter's walking, okay, we're going to take our paper worries that we wrote down and we're going to throw them at Peter, okay? So you can pause the video while you give everybody a turn to do this. But ready? Throw them at Peter. Throw your paper worries at Peter. All right, so that's what happened to Peter. That's like what happened to him. He looked around and he saw the wind and the waves and he got worried that he would drown. He took his eyes off of Jesus and the worry started distracting him. Once Peter took his eyes off Jesus and he paid more attention to his worries than to Jesus, he sank like a rock. But Jesus grabbed Peter by the arm and saved him. Here's a question for you guys to talk about. What happened as you tried to walk across the room and the papers kept hitting you? Pause this video while you think about that. All right, and here's another question. Out of all the things you could be worried about right now, what's the one that you worry about the most? And how is that distracting you from Jesus? Pause the video again and talk about that with your family. All right, thank you for sharing. If your worries sometimes distract you from Jesus, you're just like Peter, and so am I. But you can learn the same lesson that he did. Jesus' power calms our worries. All right, so we're going to try a fun experiment that shows how Jesus' power, Jesus' power calms our worries. So you're going to need these next few items, okay? You're going to need some water. You're going to need some sort of dish soap, and then you're going to need pepper, okay? And you also will need a napkin or a towel. So, I'm going to show you what to do, and then you can try it too. So, I want you guys to look at your bowl of water, okay? Or your cup of water. So, it's clear, it's clean. If you look through, I can see you guys through it. You could drink it. This is the water that my family drinks. It's very clean and clear. But then your worries start to sprinkle in, right? Worries can come into our life. Add some worries. There's a little bit of worries in there. And a few more worries come into your life. And then a few more. And pretty soon, all you can see are worries. Look at this. All you can see is the pepper, or like our worries. You can't see the clear water anymore from the top. This pepper reminds me of the waves that Peter saw on the water. We have a lot of worries coming at us right now. So how can we make those worries run away from us instead? You can try to clear them out on your own, but look what happens. They stick to you, right? They just stick to us. So do this instead, okay? Wipe off your finger. And then you're going to take your dish soap and put some of that on your finger. Okay, so that's like keeping your eyes on Jesus. So put some dish soap, get a nice amount on there. Whoa, almost got too much. Okay, put that on there. And stick it on and go in. And look, there's like no worries. Pretty clean, right? The pepper stayed away this time. So, Jesus doesn't have power. Jesus doesn't just have power over the wind and the waves. He has power over your worries too. Make sure you clean your fingers off then of the pepper and the soap. So he doesn't just have power over wind and waves. He has power over our worries and our fears too. He has power over coronavirus. When we keep our eyes on Jesus, our worries stop bombarding us because Jesus' power calms our worries. So I want you guys to pause the video again and think about this question. What would help you keep your eyes on Jesus during this time of worrying? So, Jesus' power calms our worries, right? Jesus' power calms our worries. If we keep our eyes on him, do this. I want you guys to take someone's hand and pray for that person by name, that they'll be able to keep their eyes on Jesus during this season of worry. Pause the video and do that now. Awesome prayers, guys. So now, when this video ends, you can draw a cross, you can draw a heart, or something else that reminds you of Jesus in your thankful journal. I actually already drew mine. So when I was younger, probably 15 maybe, I had a necklace that was a cross and had a heart in the middle of it. So I drew a picture of that because it just reminded me that the cross that Jesus was on, that he died for me in that way because of his love for me. So I like to have the cross with a heart in the middle to remind me of his love. All right, so draw those in your thankfulness journal, something to remind you about Jesus, and thank him for calming your worries. Put today's date on the back of that page and keep adding to your journal this week as you see more God sightings throughout the week. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Have a good day. Bye.